Oh boy, have I got some goodies for you guys. So welcome to my latest. And this is the tin and it's psst. So let's spill the tea and watch the magic brew. So what is the brew that's inside this tin? Oh, we can hear some things rattle. And voila, we have a new charm casting mat, and this is a beautiful bold turquoise, and it's in this lovely stretchy stuff. And so what do you think? Now this is a reversible teacup charm casting mat. It is the same sizes as my labyrinth, which is by memory, I don't have to have memory, 12 inches roughly, 30 centimetres. And it fits and comes in beautiful gold tin. Now in here, this is the combination of my 50 set charm starter kit together with the new 50 set add-on kit that is staying a permanent add-on in my Etsy store. So I've got 100 charms in the bottom of this, so as you can see 100 charms is a lot. So these kits, the mats, charms are optional. The actual kit is the mat in the tin, and this is your little booklet, and I'll explain. Your booklet's fairly simple. It's all your symbol dictionary for all of these. And there's 31 symbols on that, and 31 in here. So what do we use a reversible teacup mat for? What it is, it's actually a teacup reading without a teacup. Now, I know that sounds a bit strange, but there's a lot of situations where you've got someone who doesn't drink tea, you're travelling somewhere and you don't have tea, and this is the next best thing. So this is the actual photograph of, it's a real teacup. It was one of my ones I've had here, then they sold like hotcakes. I've actually had to put more on back order. And so there is the handle, that is the gold rim in the teacup, and that is the saucer of the teacup. Now these little red dots here, they are timing dots. And when we read an actual cup of tea, we divide the cup into sections and segments. The top of the handle is like looking at the clock where you would look in a cup, just like so. This is my favourite cup. And the handle is where we start. So when we read tea leaves in an actual cup, we divide things up into timings. And standard timings, we tend to go in blocks of 4, but you can go in blocks of like 3, like a peace sign. And we use these segments. So it's the same process in the mat. So with the actual mat, we go 12 o'clock as now, and it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, and so on. These segments tend to be months in time, as a teacup reading is at its best around 12 months in a time frame. Some people want to have a look and say what's in the next 5 years and stuff like that. Teacup readings is best for around the 12-month mark. So we can divide these segments up. So if you or your client said what's going on in the next 3 months, you could look at these actually as weeks. You could also, though, use your dots and divide with your dividing line. So that one's there. I need another knit needle. And if you were saying what's the next 3 months, you'd go month 1, month 2, month 3. Now, this here with the symbol side, and I've done these symbols with all the majors, which is the dress for the female, the jacket for the male, we've got love, we've got money, we've got home and family, we've got weddings and commitments, we've got communication, timings, lots of the subject matters here. So the way this is designed is we have the symbol side on here, and then we have the empty cup on this side. So to use this, I would tend to say, okay, let's draw a first scatter of charms on the symbol side, and you would see where a few things land. Now, you don't need a whole handful of charms. It's the number one mistake that so many people who start out charm casting do. They grab a handful, and it's wrong. Always think pinch of salt. See, pinch of salt there. I've only got, 6, 7 charms. So just think pinch of salt when you do it. Sorry, the cat wants to get in the cupboard. So I'm just thinking of a scenario. Young man, bored, witless, working from home during COVID, and he's thinking maybe there's other job prospects that he should be looking at. So he's come for a reading, and he's there saying, not sure whether I should apply for a job or wait out where I am. It's a common question. So first thing is we drop a few charms on the pattern side, on the symbol side. So we've got the comb here that's on spoon and the letter. I'm just going to zoom in there so we can see this a bit closer. We have the tent on the castle, which is often a work or business symbol. We have the dollar sign, we've got the lady dress on top of the man, and we've got the dragon on the cross and the baby. So this symbol side gives us our real punchline of this young man's question. So here, you can start anywhere you want, but I'll start up here in the top. The comb here that's sitting on the letter and the spoon. Comb is often about working through silly little minor problems. The letter is communication. The spoon is about giving and sharing. And I'd look at that there and say, well, young man, you need to lift your game because you've got a lot to give, but your communication really needs sorting out. We have the tent on the dollar sign and the tower. Now, the tent is a warm blanket thrown over things, or it's a temporary abode. And to see a tent over work and money, I'd look at that and say, are you just chasing this new idea for dollars, or are you chasing it for security? Because if you're chasing it for dollars, that's not really good for you. It's also interesting to see lady over the man, and the him being young man, lady there would tell me there is an important female that is also very, very good for him in what he wants to do, and it may be just an advisor that he could speak to about, should I do this, should I not do this? Feminine energy, when you see lady and man, it's not always just so cut and dry, that's a lady and that's a man. Lady there is about soft and kind and delicate and more demure in his approach. So I'd look at that too and say, draw upon some of your own feminine energy in looking at this where you do want to apply for another job. Here we've got the dragon on the baby pram and the cross. And it's interesting, the dragon is often about fear. And it's a bit like the whole Nike tick, isn't it? Just do it anyway. And there tells me he does need to face his fears. Yes, he will grow from it, but he also needs to look at reality, because dragon is a mythical creature, of will a new job solve the problem for him and his soul's journey or his higher self. So we've gleaned that much information just as our nutshell version into his question. So now we go over to our empty cup side. I'll leave it zoomed in for now. That is not a crease, guys. Like I said, this is an actual photo. So you actually have the shine of the teacup and the saucer. That is from the photo. So now we're going to look in a bit more about this young man and his job opportunities. Now, see where these have landed on the saucer? It's really up to you if you want to include them in the reading. On the saucer, I probably would, but they would tend to mean things that is further out in time. If he's looking at this and wants the next 3 months, and I'd see those on the saucer, there'd be more than likely 3+ months. If your charms were outside the teacup, put them back in the pot. Not necessary. So now let's have a look, and again, let's look at this young man for his 3-month timing. And I'll just grab another knitting needle. Here's one I prepared earlier. So we are now dividing his reading up into 3 months. Let me just move that back. So in his first month, we've got the chicken, and we've also got the candle. Now, the candles is about enlightenment, learning, see your way through, and it often is a lovely symbol of safe journeys. And it means as you approach a new job, that's not a bad one to do. To candles there would also, he needs to look within. He does have a lot to offer, and he's probably very influential and inspirational to other people that he may not realise. The chicken is a lovely one because it tells me a new job, if he wants it, he's got it, because the chicken is the birth of something new, and it's a nesting chicken, which makes all the difference if they've got legs and they're walking. A nesting chicken there would tell me he is actually more than ready. And I would look at that and say, give it a go, because you do have a lot to offer here and you are more than ready and capable of doing so. So our second month here, we've got a few here on the line. And when they are on liners like that, I tend to read them both sides, not just one. So here in his second month, we've got the wolf, the lantern, and I'll just turn it over so you can see what it is. We've also got the mermaid, and we've got the tunnel. And yes, it's a triumphal arch bridge, and a bridge and a tunnel mean very, very similar, because it means one link to another and looking further down the track. The wolf here would be very good for him in a career, because it tells me he's got power, he's got tenacity, and he's got drive. Now, most people would probably look at a wolf and think, oh, anger and danger and all of these things. A wolf in a career is brilliant because it tells me he's got a lot of management opportunities that he can take. The mermaid here, though, has to make sure that he doesn't just follow up and believe the first sentence that they tell him. It often means investigate things further. It's not always what it first appears. Mermaid is, yes, beauty and again a sign of safety. But in a career, I would still say, look at things from both sides. Don't just look and think, yep, they've told me it's the A job and I'm going to get $1 million a year and I'm going to get this, I'm going to get a car and phone and computer. There would tell me, research it more. Don't just believe what you first are told. The lantern in the second month there again, lantern's really nice again, because think Florence Nightingale. And for the young ones who don't know who Florence Nightingale is, she was a nurse that was a nurse through the war, and she was the one that had her lanterns through the camps at night to all the injured soldiers to make sure that they got through the night with their horrific injuries and war wounds. So a lantern means there is light in front of you. It does always mean too that there is safety in your journey. And it's interesting, he's got 2 light sources, which still tells me this is a good thing for him. The tunnel would tell me it's time for him to step out of the shadows. Again, the tunnel is a lovely sign for career because it means where he may be literally sort of sitting back a little bit. So it means stepping in the shadows. Now he needs to get out and feel the sun upon his face. And even with those 2 in the 3rd month, same thing, safe journey. This will be a good thing for you. We have the camel, and that is on the saucer. So it would tell me in the long term, great things with grapes and abundance, because grapes would tell me he's got more than one opportunity. He has multiples that is coming for him. And the camel there would tell me beautiful journey in front of him. Not always easy, but it still tells me his drive, his guts, his determination will ensure success. He has not got here one single fail symbol. If he had had the sword or the tornado or the triangle, gun, arrow, scissors, there's quite a few other uglies, that there would have told me no, stay put. But from just these few charms, we have a very full reading for him. So that is the new turquoise reversible charm teacup mat. And as I said, it is optional with both charm kits, either one or both, or either or. And I will put the little picture up in the corner up here, so have a look. It is in the Etsy store, and there you have it. So it's very much of psst. So let's spill the tea and watch the magic brew.